What is the slope of a line? Well, it's really just a measure of how steep it is. And we can figure that out by counting it. So for example, if we have 2 points, 1 comma 2 and 4 comma 7, we can find what's called the rise over the run by just counting up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1, 2, 3. And we can't necessarily figure out the slope of this orange line as easily because we don't have points, but we can sort of eyeball it that you're going up. For every 1, you're going up, you're going over about maybe 2 or 3, something like that. But we don't have the points for this one, so it's a little harder to be able to measure the exact line. You can see that it's not as steep as this black line though, right? So let's talk first about a faster way than counting up the boxes, and that is to use this slope formula. So this is one of the foundational formulas in algebra. We use this all the time. M is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So we could think of this as being the first point. This is x1 and y1, and this is being the second point, which is x2 and y2. And it doesn't actually matter which one you label which. It could be in either order. The important thing is that you're consistent with it. So let's go through just a few notes about the slope formula. Slope represents the rate of change between 2 points. You may use any 2 points on the line. The results will always be the same. It doesn't matter which points you're using or which one you're labeling x2 and point 1 and point 2. But you do have to be consistent. So if you use y2 minus y1 on the top, you have to use x2 minus x1 on the bottom. Positive slopes rise left to right, so both of these are positive lines because they go from left to right. It's rising, right? Both of these are rising. So those are positive slopes. A horizontal line has a slope of 0, and vertical lines have an undefined slope. And of course, negative slopes fall as you're going from left to right. So to apply the formula, all you're going to do is we're labeling, if you recall, this would be x1, and this would be y1, and this would be x2, and this would be y2. And then we're just filling in the blanks. So the formula goes, remember, it's rise over run. So it's going to be y2 minus y1. So 7 minus 2 equals 5. And then x2 minus x1, which is 4 and the 1. So we put those in. 4 minus 1 is 3. So that's our fraction, 5 over 3. We could do another one over here. We've got an x1, y1, and an x2, y2. And we just fill in those blanks, right? So y2, that was equal to negative 1, minus, there's a minus built into the formula, and then a 4 goes here because that's y1. And then on the bottom, we're going to have x2 minus x1. Remember that x1 was the negative 3. So when we work that out, negative 1 minus 4 is a negative 5. When it's both the same sign, we add those together. So negative 1 and negative 4 combines to negative 5. And then when it's minus a negative, you could really think of that as being like a plus. It's like these cancel out. So this is going to be 2 plus 3 is 5. A negative 5 divided by a positive 5 is negative 1. So that would be the slope there. Now, why do we need this formula? Well, we use it all over the place. Anytime that we need to interpret the steepness and direction of a line on a graph, we're going to be using the slope formula. We understand it for all kinds of real world situations. So whether it's speed, cost per unit, temperature changes, population growth, any of those kind of things. If you're ever looking at, like, for example, a stock chart, it's got all kinds of these slopes going up and down as the price changes. So whenever we're trying to determine whether a relationship is increasing, decreasing, or constant, we are using slope. So again, it shows up everywhere. Hopefully that made a little bit more sense to you when it comes to slope, but if you still need some help and you're a Palm Beach State College student, don't forget that you can work with tutors like me at the Student Learning Center. We're available on all 5 campuses and online, so don't hesitate to make an appointment. I'll have a link to that in the show notes.